probably can't see it on the camera. I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna talk about it anyway in this video. Hey, what's up? And if you don't know by the title, this is Star Wars versus Lord of the Rings. I plan on doing a lot of verses with movies and stuff, and probably bands and musicians and stuff. You know, just some of that stuff. I have done one way back. It's like last year or something. But today I'm doing Star Wars vs. Lord of the Rings. And I'm doing the original Star Wars trilogy. I can't have the saga facing a trilogy. That just would not go right. So I split up into about like 15 or 16 categories of who gets the edge and stuff. And I'm going to start talking about this. But one thing I want to say right up front, like I do in most of my videos, this is 100% opinion based, except for like one category. But other than that, it's all opinion. So if you like Star Wars more than Lord of the Rings, and I pick Star Wars, or if you like Lord of the Rings more Star Wars, you know, whatever, you can comment and tell me which one you think is better, or you just completely agree with me overall. So let's start. Oh yeah, and after I'm done going through all the categories, I'm going to go into all three movies, separate movies, and see which one I like better, like A New Hope versus Fellowship of the Ring, you know, which one do I like better, you know. After that, I'm going to do that after I'm done with all the categories, which are like 15, you know what, I'm just going to count them real quick on camera here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 categories. Just wanted to make sure. So, is split into 15 categories. And I did look this up on YouTube, and there wasn't much people that did something like this. I mean, there was in a way, but not too much. So I thought it would make a very good video comparing two very, very, probably, arguably the two greatest trilogies of all time, the Star Wars original trilogy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I think we can all agree that those two are probably the best trilogies on the face of this planet. Which one's better though? That's the question. Let's get into it. We've wasted enough time already. The first category, and whoever gets the more categories wins. Well, you know, like if Star Wars gets one category, then that's 1 point for Star Wars. Okay, just letting you know. Whoever has the most categories wins. Whoever won the most categories will win the thing. Okay, directing was the first category on there. Which one do I think had the better director, and which one do I think is better at directing this movie, or these movies? Now here you have George Lucas and Peter Jackson. They're like two of the greatest directors of all time, practically. So this was very hard. I mean, technically, all of the categories were really hard to which one gets is better at that category. But this one was probably the hardest, in a way. Probably like the second hardest. But so you got George Lucas, who created Star Wars. He came out with A New Hope. I can't remember the year, I'm sorry, but it came out, and that was like the movie of the decade, practically. I guess it was, in a way. I mean, that movie is very famous, A New Hope was. And then he makes an Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and then eventually goes into the crappy prequels. But around the time when he starts doing the prequels, I think 2003 was the first one, Peter Jackson comes along and makes Lord of the Rings. And makes it into 3 movies, makes it a trilogy. And then he comes out with the extended, and if you ever watch the extended, like, back to back, it feels like it's one movie. It really does. So, like I said, this was a very hard decision to make, since these are 2 very good directors. They definitely know what they're doing. I mean, both of these directors pretty much made some of the greatest movies of all time. I mean, but in the end, I had to give the edge to George Lucas and Star Wars. I think George Lucas is a better director than Peter Jackson, and I'm definitely not saying Peter Jackson sucks or anything, but this was very, very hard. So George Lucas is a better director, in my opinion. If you think otherwise, then put a comment below. Alright, next category is editing. What film was better edited? Now, this is something that most people don't pay attention to when they watch a movie. They don't pay attention to how well the movie is edited. That's a word that can go on forever. But I do. I pay attention to how movies are edited, and I'm sure most people do it too. But I like to pay attention to not just like the characters and the plots and what's going on the camera or in the camera. I like to pay attention to a lot of other stuff as well. And I really had to pay attention to a lot of other stuff when I was doing this, because I had to really think this out. But editing, it wasn't that hard for editing. I picked Star Wars over Lord of the Rings for editing. I just thought Star Wars was better edited. It felt, Lord of the Rings feels real, but with the editing in Star Wars, it just feels more real, So, there's editing. Acting. Yeah, acting. Now, Star Wars, you got a bunch of very good actors, and the star of the original trilogy was, of course, Harrison Ford playing Han Solo. He was basically the star of the movie. There was good acting overall. Like, everybody did a good acting job, but he definitely did the best. And then they kind of just did whatever. With Lord of the Rings, it's different. You've got a lot of very good actors, and there really isn't a bad actor in Lord of the Rings. There's a couple here and there with Star Wars, but yeah, so Lord of the Rings gets this one. Lord of the Rings has better actors, in my opinion. The acting is a lot better. So, yeah. Acting. Lord of the Rings got it. That one was pretty easy, the acting. Because I kind of knew when I was writing all this stuff down, I kind of knew that Lord of the Rings was going to get the edge for acting. And it did, of course. So, set designs. The sets and the designs. Set designs on Star Wars are, of course, very good. You got the Death Star in there, and Tatooine, Hoth, and stuff. It's very good, but I think Lord of the Rings set designs were better. They don't really like set designs, I wouldn't say, but I just thought that the set where they were filming was better, a better location and stuff, especially for what they were filming in New Zealand, and I would love to film a movie in New Zealand. That would just be so cool. But yeah, not much to say about this. Lord of the Rings, yeah, in New Zealand. And pretty sure Peter Jackson has filmed all of his movies in New Zealand. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he has. Alright, camera walk. Camera techniques, cinematography. I'm gonna split camera walk into 4 different categories. Camera walk, cinematography, camera angles, and just kidding. They're the same thing. I wasn't the camera walk in Star Wars was good, but I think it didn't have like any helicopter shots like Lord of the Rings did and stuff. I mean, the camera walk was good in Star Wars, it was very good. This, I think, was another hard one for me to decide, but in the end, I think the camera walk in Star Wars, not Star Wars, I think the camera walk in Lord of the Rings is better, because the camera walk, not just only with the editing, makes you, it's gotta have that feeling that you're actually there. And camera walk is also another thing that most people do not pay attention to when they watch movies, but I do. I pay very close attention to the camera walk. But yeah, Lord of the Rings got the edge there. It was very good camera walk. They did quite a bit of long shots, really. I mean, they did close-ups here and there, but most of its stuff was like long shots and stuff, like the medium shots, which is cool too. They use a DIY shot for the big battle when Riders of Rohan come in on Return of the King. To can't remember that place's thing. No. Can't remember what that place is called. But it's like at the end, the place where those big gigantic elephants come in and stuff. But yeah, that a lot of that scene was filmed with DIY, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, camera walk is, I guess, Lord of the Rings. Lighting effects. There's really not much to say with the lighting effects. Star Wars was mostly filmed there was outside stuff, but some of it was like inside, like the Death Star and stuff. And then pretty much all of Lord of the Rings was filmed outside. I mean, I know, there's gonna be some people, being like, hey, there's some camera walk outside, blah blah blah. Yeah, there was inside, but for lighting effects, I have to put down Star Wars because except for like the night scenes, when they were just filming in the day, they didn't need lighting for Lord of the Rings. So that's kind of the main reason and kind of not. That's like 50-50 the reason why I put Star Wars instead of that. Okay, moving on. Special effects. I put Lord of the Rings. I think Lord of the Rings has better special effects. I mean, Star Wars had very good ones, but I think Lord of the Rings was a bit better because it pretty much, I don't think they use any visuals really. But yeah, not much to say there either. I mean, they both did very good. That one was, the special effects was kind of easy. I kind of knew what I was going to pick for that one when I was writing all this stuff down as well. So, we'll just move on. Makeup. Lord of the Rings. The orcs look amazing. And pretty much everything else, the hobbit feet, that's a part of makeup there. And then in Star Wars, it was more like kind of costumes. I mean, there was some makeup involved and stuff, but I think it was mostly just like costumes and stuff. So Lord of the Rings got the edge there. I mean, the orcs look amazing, and they completely screwed up all those orcs and whatnot in The Hobbit. Gosh. But yeah, Lord of the Rings. Orcs look amazing. I mean, I think they got a reward for that actually, for like makeup effects or something like that. I think so. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they got a reward for that. Visual effects. Now, Lord of the Rings, there wasn't that much visual effects, to be honest. I mean, there was the trees, like the Ents or whatever, the tree build and blah blah blah, but and of course like the trolls were visual effects. But I'm gonna have to give the visual effects to Star Wars. I know it's kind of like older and Lord of the Rings is more realistic visual effects, but I think Star Wars, I don't know, I personally like the Star Wars visual effects a bit better. I mean, this one was kind of hard as well. Because, I mean, you got the trolls in Lord of the Rings and the Ents that look very, very well done. They look amazing. And then, like, the lasers and the lightsabers and stuff in Star Wars. So I just had to go to Star Wars. So Star Wars gets the edge there with visual effects. Moving on. I'm getting close to losing my voice. The script. Dialogue. The script in parentheses dialogue or / dialogue. I thought Star Wars had more memorable quotes and stuff like that. I thought the dialogue was better in Star Wars than Lord of the Rings. I mean, Lord of the Rings had like some good quotes and stuff in it, but I think Star Wars had some better ones. And I'm thinking of a certain line in Star Wars, but I can't, like, one that's like a lot of people say, but I can't think of what it is. So, yeah. Lord of the Rings definitely had a good script and good dialogue. I mean, it definitely didn't make you get bored. Although, I will say, the main reason why I picked Star Wars over Lord of the Rings is because some of the dialogue, some of the talk scenes and stuff were kind of slow in Lord of the Rings. Like, not all of it, but it just kind of gets boring a little bit, and you're just kind of like, okay, let's skip this part just a little bit, you know. But that didn't happen with Star Wars for me. But yeah, moving on. Costumes. I picked Star Wars. Lord of the Rings costumes are very good. I mean, yeah, they're good. Pretty much everyone in this movie had wigs in Lord of the Rings, so that would kind of tie into costumes, of course. So that definitely looked real. Because when I first saw Lord of the Rings, I always thought Orlando Bloom had hair like that. I know. And then I saw him with short hair. I was like, whoa, holy crap. What? I thought he was an elf. But yeah, I mean, the costumes were very good in Lord of the Rings, very realistic. But the main reason why I picked Star Wars is because of the Chewbacca costume. That's awesome. It's just awesome, okay? And the Banthas in Tatooine on A New Hope. They put costumes on elephants, I think. Oh no. Put costumes on elephants, I think. I think that's what he said in the commentary. Something like that. They put costumes on an animal. I'm pretty sure it's elephants. I don't know why, but I keep wanting to say something else. Okay, plots. Which one has the better plot? Star Wars has a very good plot. Lord of the Rings has a very good plot. And I'm not going to really explain the plots. I mean, if you don't know the plots to Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, I don't know what to tell you. Just go watch the movie. I mean, I can't see how anybody has not seen these movies. But anyway, I picked the Lord of the Rings plot over the Star Wars plot. I thought the Lord of the Rings plot was more what's the word I'm looking for? It was more. It was a bit more complex, in a way. I mean, the Star Wars plot wasn't that complex that much. I mean, yeah. But Lord of the Rings, I thought the plot was better. So, yeah. Plots, Lord of the Rings is the winner. I'm actually going to leave that category for last. Props. I picked Star Wars for props. Props are good in Lord of the Rings. I mean, like all the swords and stuff, the bows, those are props. They're all realistic looking, you know, they're all good, they're all cool looking. But, like the lightsaber handles and stuff, I just have to go Star Wars here. The lightsaber handles, which is a lot more better, basically. Characters. Now, let me explain a bit about this category. At first, I don't know why, but I was going to have which one has the more characters. And I was like, wait a second, no, that just doesn't seem right. So, I'm not necessarily doing, because some people might think the characters might go and kind of tie in with the acting, and it kind of does in a way. But I'm, in this category, and pretty much every other video that I'll make like this, when I say characters, I'm talking about which film had more likable characters. And, of course, Star Wars has Han Solo and Chewbacca. You know, they've got a lot of likable characters, pretty much everybody, almost. The Ewoks, they were very likable characters. And then Lord of the Rings has Gimli, Aragorn, Legolas, Frodo. I mean, I don't know who likes Frodo. I've never really liked Frodo. Samwise Gamgee, Pippin, Merry, Gandalf. I mean, it just has so many likable characters. So I gave the edge. I think Lord of the Rings has more likable characters than Star Wars. I mean, that's just me. I like more characters in Lord of the Rings than in Star Wars. But Star Wars that was, besides that and the directing, which one had the better director, that was the hardest. Directing and characters, likable characters, were the hardest ones. Okay. I keep looking over here because that's where the list is. So, I'm just going to stare at this list, the little category list and stuff, and never look at the camera for the rest of the video. Okay, the last category that I had was, I put down legendary. Which film is more legendary? And I picked Star Wars. I mean, Lord of the Rings is definitely kind of legendary. It definitely is because, I mean, like, everybody loves that movie. But I think Star Wars is more legendary. And this one isn't very much opinion based. I mean, Star Wars did pretty much, it's probably the most legendary movie ever made, really. So yeah, that was the first one that I knew Star Wars was gonna get the that was the one that I knew Star Wars was gonna get on the edge or whatever. So that right there is all my categories, all 15 categories, and now we're gonna go into the actual movies. A New Hope versus The Fellowship of the Ring. And with the individual movies, I'm not going to go through all the categories, okay? Those categories were just the overall trilogy. Now we're just going into the separate movies. Fellowship of the Ring, very good movie. A New Hope, even better movie. So, A New Hope, I like A New Hope better. I mean, that was the first Star Wars movie, and in a way, that was why Star Wars got the edge on Legendary, because that movie was, it was the movie, basically. And then Fellowship of the Ring, it seems to be everybody's least favorite Lord of the Rings movie, but I don't think it's my least favorite. I like it. It was very good. I mean, not saying that it gets hated on, it's just like most people's least favorite. But anyway, yeah, so A New Hope. I thought New Hope's better. The Empire Strikes Back versus The Two Towers. The Empire Strikes Back is better, in my opinion. I was going to go with The Two Towers, but then I decided against it. Because, basically, I just thought, The Two Towers is my favorite Lord of the Rings movie, and then The Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars movie. So it was like, I was like, literally just like doing this, and I could not decide. I pretty much decided for everything else in this video, and then I picked The Empire Strikes Back at the last minute. So that was very hard, but Two Towers is still my favorite Lord of the Rings, and The Empire Strikes Back is still my favorite Star Wars. Return of the Jedi versus Return of the King. It's funny, because they both have return in it. But I decided on Return of the King for this one, mostly because Return of the Jedi is my least favorite, and to be honest, there was a lot of parts in that one that I just didn't like. I mean, I liked the beginning and like the end, and everything in between, it was just, I didn't like it too much. So yeah, Return of the King, great movie. It's probably the longest movie in extended versions, But yeah, Return of the King, that's it. So, what does that all add up to? Okay, directing, Star Wars got it. Editing, Star Wars. Acting, Lord of the Rings. Set designs, Lord of the Rings. Camera work, Lord of the Rings. Lighting, Star Wars. Special effects, Lord of the Rings. Makeup, Lord of the Rings. Visual effects, Star Wars. The script / dialogue, Star Wars. Costumes, Star Wars. Plots, Lord of the Rings. Which film was more legendary? Star Wars. Props, Star Wars. Characters, which one movie had more likable characters? Lord of the Rings. A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and then Return of the King. So, Star Wars got 10 points. Because I count A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back winning, and then all the categories that won. Star Wars got 10 points. Lord of the Rings got 8 points. Star Wars, I think Star Wars is better than Lord of the Rings. This was a very interesting little versus round, but I think Star Wars is definitely better than Lord of the Rings, the original trilogy, that is. And Lord of the Rings got very close. It lost by like 2 points or something like that. 10 to 8. I mean, so yeah, I definitely don't think Lord of the Rings sucks. I mean, I think it's amazing, but if I were to pick one, Star Wars. Star Wars would definitely win. So that's about pretty much all I have to say now. If you like this video, subscribe if you want. I'm not saying like subscribe I'm not saying like you have to. If you want to subscribe, go ahead. I don't really care either way. But if you did like this video, and I am going to be making more stuff like this, and you do want to subscribe and watch more videos, because I'm going to be doing a lot of movies like this. So my next video like this would be Saving Private Ryan versus Black Hawk Down. So if you want to see that, stay tuned. Now, that's it. Let's get rid of that and see ya. Hope you liked the video. Oh, and comment and tell me which one you like more, Lord of the Rings or Star Wars. And we'll see how many, whatever. I mean, not like voting. Star Wars won. See ya.